Ballin'. I missed. What was I talking about? Yeah, let me try again. Woo! Okay. So, we've talked about the articles, and we realized, wow, the articles sucked. It was horrible, right? It was like the worst idea ever, but kind of warranted, right? Because we were hurt. We were wounded by a strong national government. So we tried to get rid of that, and obviously didn't really work out. So now we have to figure out a new plan for government. So here we go. We hold the Constitutional Convention. This was held in 1787. A lot of times people think that our Constitution happened at the same time that our Declaration did. Not true. Our Constitution started in 1787. Really, it wasn't even ratified for a while. And our Declaration of Independence was in 1776. So 11 years, right, in between. So we end up having the Virginia Plan and the New Jersey Plan to figure out how we're going to do this new style of government. The Virginia Plan and the New Jersey Plan are opposites, essentially. There were two main styles of thinking, and the Virginia Plan was supported by larger states. The New Jersey Plan, you guessed it, by smaller states. The easiest way to study for this is to recognize that Virginia is a big state and New Jersey is a smaller state. So it's kind of self-explanatory. It's kind of an easy way to remember that. The best way to study for this is to learn one really well, so that way when you're looking at it, you can be like, oh, I know that that's not the Virginia Plan, because I know the Virginia Plan like the back of my hand. So it has to be New Jersey. Okay, so the Virginia Plan felt that government should have a strong national legislature with two chambers, have an upper chamber and a lower chamber. The I'm getting ahead of myself. The Virginia Plan said that the lower chosen should be chosen by the people, that the upper should be chosen by the lower house. Don't mind Jerry. Okay, so we've got Congress, right here. So we've got our upper house, which is the Senate, and we have our lower house, which is the House of Representatives, also known as just plainly the House. And what the Virginia Plan wanted was for us to directly elect the lower. Okay, these are the common people. We wanted some sort of direct election and some sort of direct representation, but we also felt that Congress shouldn't just be common people. We were scared that, the founders were scared that we were going to mess it up. So the lower house would then choose people to be part of the upper house. Okay, this is why we have our tax bills start in the House, and I'll talk about that later in our second unit. We go over the legislative branch, but the reason tax bills have to start in the House is because of taxation without representation. That's the whole reason that we fought for independence. We didn't care about anything else other than the fact that we were having to pay money that we didn't even have a say in what it was for, where it was going, how much we were paying. We had taxation without representation, and that's what we were mad about. So later, when we start to combine everything and create our compromises, we talk about the Great Compromise. This is the lower house. Tax bills have to always and forever start in the lower house, in the House of Representatives. Why? Because they are directly elected by the people. Direct representation. If we allowed tax bills to start in the Senate, then why did we even fight the war? You see what I'm saying? So that was Virginia's plan. New Jersey had a different plan, however. New Jersey said, that's kind of all over the place. let's just have a unicameral, meaning one house. Remember, unitary, unicorn, one horn, one thing. Unicameral legislature, and each state gets one vote. It's not fair that Virginia has more people, so they get more of a say. That's not fair. Just because we're small doesn't mean we don't matter, okay? So, one state should get one vote. Virginia plan said that the legislature would have the power to bar any state law that's unconstitutional, meaning that they were able to say, hey, this is not according with our plan, with our constitution. You can't do that. The New Jersey plan said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, yes, the articles sucked, but like we were doing pretty good with what we had. So, and again, we were scared of having a central government. We just fought a very expensive, very taxing, very tiring war to get away from a strong central government. Why would we go back to one when we've already, like, it didn't work. We didn't like it. We fought a war to get away from it. Didn't make sense. We were scared of it. So we wanted to stay with a confederation of sovereign states. All the power, most of the power in the states, but we are friends and we rule ourselves. See, Congress has the power to impose taxes and regulate trade. Again, that was one of our biggest downfalls in the Articles of Confederation. So the New Jersey plan said, okay, fine, sure, whatever, but like, we'll give that to the federal government because obviously that was like a big downfall. Virginia wanted a strong executive chosen by the legislature, so they wanted a parliament-style government. Remember L branch plus E branch? So we wanted, in Virginia plan, we wanted a parliamentary style of government. Here, in the New Jersey plan, we wanted a weak executive. Again, we're scared of a unitary government. We're scared of having a strong central government, so we want to be a confederation, and we want a weak executive. And we want it to be more than one person because, again, we just fought a war against one person who put their foot on our neck and just, like, let us, like, almost die, essentially. And it was not cool. And so we wanted it to be more than one person, and we also wanted it to be elected by the legislature because we elected them. So therefore, if we elected a good group of people, then one group should be plucked out of there, right? Next one. Both plans wanted a national judiciary, meaning they wanted a national court, and the Virginia plan wanted it by the legislature, and the New Jersey plan wanted it by the executive. Okay, so like any great marriage of ideas, or really anything, we have to have compromises, okay? So our first one, like I said earlier, is the Great Compromise. Or the Connecticut Compromise. On your test, it's known as the Connecticut Compromise, but it's also called Great Compromise. This is that the legislature would have two houses. It'd be bicameral. You're like bisexual. You're like two sexes. So, two. Two houses would be the House of Representatives, the lower house, and the Senate, which is the upper house. The lower house would be based on population, and the upper house is based on equality. So we're marrying these two ideas, right? We're marrying, Virginia, you've got more people there. And then New Jersey plan is like, hey, but like, just because like we're smaller doesn't mean that our votes don't matter, right? Or it should all be like percentage based, not population based. So we're marrying those two ideas. Also, Congress imposes taxes, but all laws concerning taxes or spending must originate in the House, again, because we were directly electing the lower house, okay? It was not until about 1913-ish, it was the 17th Amendment, that we did not elect senators. So from 1787 all the way up until 1913-ish, we did not elect senators. they were appointed by state legislatures. So what that means is, let's say that Lindsey Graham, who's one of our senators, let's say Lindsey Graham decides, I'm out, I'm done, I'm retiring, bye. He goes away. He is one of our senators, but he's our senator to the national government. He's not part of the General Assembly, meaning South Carolina's state government. He is up in Washington. Henry McMaster's job as governor would be to appoint a new senator to Washington, D.C. Kind of weird. 17th Amendment said, stop that. We are going to directly elect our senators now. But again, we were directly electing our House members, so we were having direct representation for tax purposes, because then otherwise, why did we fight the war? Okay, and so our next one is the Presidential Elections Compromise. So what this did was it developed the Electoral College. The Electoral College is sort of a safety net for the elections, because they thought that we were too dumb, that like the general public was going to be too dumb, and that we were going to mess up the elections because we wouldn't know what's going on. They were right. But so we came up with the Electoral College. I'm going to try to keep this pretty like simple and quick, because we will revisit it back in Unit 3 when we go over Article 2, which is the executive branch. But so how this works is we look, I'm going to draw it out for you, so I got to shift you a little bit. So we look at a certain state. Okay, so we're going to go with South Carolina, because that's where we are. Words are hard. South Carolina. Okay. We have 7 districts. So how you get your representative is you have to have, for every 700,000 people, you get 1 representative. So we have 7 districts. We have 7 representatives. So we have to look at, if you ever see this abbreviation, HOR, it's for House of Representatives. It's not a not nice word for a lady. It's an abbreviation for House of Representatives. So number of House of Representatives plus number of senators equals EC votes. Okay, we have 7 representatives. Every state gets 2 senators, okay? So there's 100 members total in the Senate. We get 2 senators. 7 plus 2 is 9. This is our total number for South Carolina. We get 9 electoral votes. Okay, so throughout the whole state, no, back up. Throughout the United States, throughout all of America, there's a total of 538 electoral votes. Okay, total. Okay, if you divide this in half, 538 divided by 2 is 269. That's exactly 50%. You cannot win on 50%. If you tie, you tie. You don't win, you're tied, okay? So in order to win presidency, you have to get just above 50%, right? So what's more than 269? 270. You guessed it. You guys are so smart. So this is the magic number. In order to win presidency, you have to have at least 270 votes. And it's not like a basketball game where you can go back and forth and it's like, oh, he's got 270. Now they've got 270. Now no. Once you get over that 50%, you win. Your votes don't get taken away. It's not like like I said, it's not like a basketball game where you can get to 270 first and then the other team gets to 270 and passes you and you make a comeback. Votes don't get taken away. Once you hit 270, you win. So here's how the Electoral College essentially, I guess, works. So let's say we've got our candidates. We've got Joe Biden and we've got Donnie T. Okay? Let's say that they both come to South Carolina and they do a debate and they talk about, okay, this is my platform, vote for me, yada, yada, yada. Let's just say, since Joe Biden is up here, the first one, let's say that in South Carolina, let's say that he gets 51% of the votes and Donnie T gets 49% of the votes. Okay? That means that Donnie T loses South Carolina. He doesn't get anything. He's done. Joe Biden wins. He gets all 9 of South Carolina votes. So for Joe Biden, he's got 9 votes and Donnie T has 0 to go into that 270. Now, if Joe Biden wins South Carolina and Donnie T wins California, will never happen because, well, I shouldn't say never, but California is a very, very blue state, meaning it's very, very liberal-minded, very democratic. So he's not very well liked over there. But it could happen. You never know. States turn red and blue all the time. But so, yeah, Joe Biden wins South Carolina at the same time that Donnie T wins California. California has 55 electoral votes because they're so big. They have a lot more people than we do. So even though they both won one state so far, Donnie T is closer to presidency than Joe Biden is because of the Electoral College. Does that make sense? We will get into that more when we go into our presidential unit. Okay. So, like I said, there are 538 collective electoral votes, and you need to have 270 to win the presidency. It's a winner-takes-all system,